And Madam Mayor, that is my concern is not, I'm not here to do battle with Commissioner Torres. We're trying to get unity, move this community forward, get beyond it. I would like to point out though, and I don't know if this would appease Commissioner Torres or not, but for the last, before I became elected, I was this city's Ron Fenn, along with a few other people.
You know, I don't want, okay.
I
don't want any names. I understand how everybody feels about certain things. This is about the process and the procedure.
Well then, if it's about the process was done according to our rules and our regulations that we all have agreed upon. We've used it during the interview for other positions, the hospital, as we had talked about here. We have a chance to vote twice, once numerically and once through a motion. And I think that the bell was rang, and you can't unring the bell. I mean, I think it just opens up this community for animosity, for rancor, just when it seems that we've kind of maybe gone over the hill and maybe there's a little bit of smooth sailing ahead. And I don't see the purpose of what is to be gained. Now, if you think the system is unfair, then maybe we might want to take a look at the system down the road, get on the city agenda.
I want to talk about that. How come it was thrown out?
Okay, hold on.
Maybe you was wrong, maybe I was right.
I have a question. Okay. Jay, at what point does an appointment, if you look at this or at the regulations regarding the P&Z Commission, it says the city shall have the authority to remove any member for cause with the cause, yada, yada, yada. And then it says that, if you go down here, that they have to be appointed and then take the oath of office within 10 days. Is when they take that oath make them a member, or does once they're appointed make them a member?
I thought of that, and that's an excellent question. I understand that could be a concern. And I guess if we were in court and I was defending the city, that would be the position that I would take. But I'm just concerned about what was the intent of the motion then, if we were going to say, well, okay, we're going to make this motion and then we're going to come back and give ourselves that out, because, unless you have cause to do that. That was the thing. I'm still on that.
Here's my thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
We, the commission, before I was on it, decided to make Cedar, Riverside, Austin. We decided not to let traffic go two ways on that road anymore. Our constituents spoke up, said no, that was not the best thing for this community as a whole. I think our constituency has spoke up and said they do not feel that this is a valid, good thing for the community as a whole. And I think we were put here by our constituents to represent our constituents. And I'm sorry, but I didn't get a single phone call saying that this would be a good appointment. I got 105 phone calls saying this would be a negative appointment. And if that, if him taking the oath of office makes him a member, and he has taken the oath, then I say there's nothing we can do, our hands are tied. But if he hasn't taken that oath, I will make the motion to rescind our appointment, and let's go. Let's go back out to bid. And while we're at it, I think we need to throw this away, and one of us needs to nominate somebody, the rest of us need to vote yea or nay on it, and that's the way that needs to go.
Yeah, so based, I'm sorry, was
No, I was going to just say that I agree with Commissioner Luna, and specifically on the scoring. Although when I look at the scoring, I mean, it was basically in favor of the other person, or at least there was two ties, or one tie on him, and so the other applicant actually would have scored higher if it had been scoring sheets. But I think we need to do away with those, and if we're using them, they should be for our personal use and not used for the casting of a vote or as an indication of a vote. I think if I want to score what I thought of them during the interview, I can make the notations on my sheet, then it's mine to keep. I don't think they should even be turned in. And definitely they shouldn't have a name on them. I mean, why should anybody know what anybody is thinking, you know? I mean, right here.
And what is your opinion on that, Mr. Rubin? I mean, when you look back at the minutes, it was not reflective that we were adopting that.
Oh, I agree, and I kind of need support to my argument, and actually, that's why the motion that was done subsequent actually is what controls even more. Certainly for future meetings, I agree that I think it's a bad process, but I'm going by what we did, on that previous evening. I can actually think of a better reason why we shouldn't have those tally sheets, because actually it could lend to abuse. You could have, like candidate A and candidate B, and 4 commissioners score in favor of candidate A by 10-9 vote, and then you have the other commissioner go 10-0 for candidate B, and then suddenly candidate B wins equal to that. So I think tally sheets are a bad idea. I'm not even basing my opinion on the tally sheets. I was basing my opinion on the motion that was made after that.
Well, here, one commission carried the whole vote, one commission, the way you guys voted, one vote, and the other one was one vote, and Mr. Green gave the other one four votes, so he carried, him by himself, elected to one person. Do you think that's right? I don't think so.
That's why I'm not hanging my hat on what happened with the tally sheets. I'm hanging my hat on what the motion was.
Well, Mr. Torres, Commissioner Torres, excuse me, since you brought up the tally sheets, I think it's fair that I can talk about them.
Talk about it.
It was obviously pretty close. If you take a look, if you're going to talk about something and you have an audience at your disposal, let's be fair and let's be honest. Commissioner Luna, it was a 1-point difference. The mayor, it was a tie. That means she thought, both commissioners thought that it was almost a toss-up. Okay, and the only reason, I'm not saying this is a perfect system, don't get me wrong. However, you can't get zeros, because if you give a point for a city resident, business, or property owner, you have to score a point. Education, 1, 2, 3, and up to 4 points, it is what it is. And basically, why I scored it a little bit higher than everyone else, because on the last question that I asked, why, what makes you tick? And when I heard, I just don't want to see the city to continue to try to put number 4, a big square peg into a small round hole, you stop the process, you get some rules and ordinances that make sense, and you move on. I didn't get the feeling that I guess I can't mention the name, but the interviewee was anti-anything. He was pro-government being right, transparent, and for the people. And I think this is such an abuse of that process that we have. Now, if we feel on reflection that the process is wrong, we can change it for the future. Yes, we did change a vote on Austin Street, and that was because the phones started ringing. I don't think that's a valid argument. And the reason it isn't...
Just take a look at the score sheet. You get off doing a lot of talking, but you yourself alone is like that man. If they were to score it even, you have enough points to vote him in yourself.
Are you telling me that Commissioner Luna and Mayor Montgomery didn't have the opportunity to score it any way they wanted?
Yeah, but it's
Is
not
that what
right.
you're telling me?
This game, that's not right. I have a vote too. You only have one vote, and you have 4 points.
I
And you're
understand.
the one who gave him the job.
Well, if you...
I don't like it.
Jay, what was your answer to Commissioner Luna's question?
About what? Which question?
She asked you about the appointment versus the old.
Is the person
Is the person
appointed when they're
appointed?
selected by the commission, or are they on the board when they take the
Where
oath
they
of
take the
office?
oath of office.
Well, the ordinance says about the oath of
Yeah,
office,
yeah.
that the oath of office occurs. That's what the ordinance says. It does say that.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I make a motion
I-
to rescind our motion for the appointment of Ron Fenn.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Is there further discussion?
Yes, I think this is, thank you, Madam Mayor. I think this is opening up new wounds, that there is no win out here for this city. There is no win for this commission.